All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that I think hits home for a lot of us. You've got the ambition, you've got these big ideas swirling around, but you're just not rich yet, right? So today, we're going to break down the unspoken rules for turning that drive into actual real-world wealth. We're pulling some amazing insights from actual billionaires and, people getting rich in the most unexpected ways.
So, here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with the ambition trap. Basically, why you might be feeling stuck. Then we'll check out two paths: boring is beautiful and the billionaire playbook. After that, we'll figure out why most good ideas fail. And we'll wrap it all up with what I'm calling the real scoreboard. Let's do this.
Okay, first up, the ambition trap. Why you're stuck. And yeah, this one is for anyone who feels like you've got a Ferrari engine revving up in your head, but for some reason, the car is just stuck in park.
So let me ask you this. Ever feel like you want to do huge things, but your body just doesn't move? I mean, seriously, your brain is writing these checks that your energy levels just can't cash. You're giving these amazing TED Talks in the shower, but then in real life, it feels like you're stuck on a loading screen. It is an incredibly frustrating feeling, and trust me, you are not alone in this. Man, this quote it hits hard. You see your potential clearly, but you're paralyzed. And that last part, that gap between who you are and who you could be, that's where guilt lives. Whew. See, it's not really about being lazy, it's about being paralyzed. The goal feels so massive, so far away, that our brain just kind of short circuits before we can even take the first step. And this really breaks down the core of the problem. You've got ambition on one side and discipline on the other. Ambition, well, it shouts. It's the "I'm gonna be great" voice. But discipline, it just whispers. It's the "okay, open your laptop" voice. And that's the trap, right? We get addicted to chasing the feeling of ambition, but it's the quiet, kind of boring process of discipline that actually builds something real.
So how do we fix this? How do we actually start moving? Well, here's a super simple formula. Number 1, pick one goal. Seriously, not 10, not 5, just one. Number 2, break that goal down into steps that are so small, so easy, that it feels almost ridiculous not to do them. And 3, do it every single day, because consistency will always, always beat intensity.
All right, let's move on to our second part. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts. We're going to look at path number 1 to getting rich. And spoiler alert, it is not glamorous. This is the boring is beautiful path.
And this quote right here, this is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Boring is beautiful. Boring is predictable. Boring means proven. Forget about the next big flashy tech startup for a second. We're talking about businesses that have been making people rich for decades because they solve real problems that just never, ever go away.
Okay, first up on the boring list, vending machines. And I can already hear you, vending machines? Really? That's the big secret? But hang on. Just stick with me here, because the numbers behind this supposedly boring business are, well, they're anything but boring. Think about it like this. They work while you sleep. They don't call in sick. They just sit there, quietly turning dollar bills into more dollar bills. This is about as close to real passive income as you can get. Sure, it's not sexy. Your friends probably won't be impressed at a dinner party, but your bank account will be very, very impressed.
And look at this, $2.3 million. That's the annual revenue for one operator with about 800 machines. And this isn't some made-up number. This is a real person who started with just one machine he bought for a couple grand. It just shows you the incredible power of taking something simple and proven and just scaling it up.
Okay, you ready for boring business number 2? We're about to dive even deeper into the unglamorous side of things here. We're talking about portable toilet rentals. And here is the absolute genius of it. As the quote says, dignity is overrated, money isn't. And my favorite part, people don't stop pooping during recessions. Think about it. Every construction site, every music festival, every big outdoor event, they all need them. This business is basically recession-proof, pandemic-proof, it's everything-proof. Yeah, you might be in the poop business, but you'll be crying all the way to the bank. Okay, let's totally switch gears now. We went from the boring and beautiful, now we're jumping into the big leagues. Section 3 is the billionaire playbook. These are the high-level strategic principles from people who are playing an entirely different game. First up, on sales. This comes from a billionaire hotelier, and it's so simple it's almost profound. He just says, Listen, the customer, your friends, your bankers will always tell you the pathway. Listen. That's it. So many businesses fail because they're too busy talking at their customers instead of just shutting up and listening to what they actually want.
Okay, now for his advice on negotiation, this is pure gold. Put the pen across the table and the first person who talks loses. It's all about the power of silence. You don't have to rush to fill that awkward void. His point is when a deal is truly ripe, you don't have to force it. It solves itself. You just have to be patient enough to let it happen. And finally, his advice on relationships is just as blunt and powerful. Stay out of one zip code, the zip code of bad people. His whole philosophy is that you are the average of the people you hang around with. So you have to be absolutely ruthless about curating your inner circle, because at the end of the day, your network really can become your destiny. So we've seen two very different paths to wealth. But here comes the reality check. Most ventures, even the ones with really good ideas, end up failing. So in section 4, we need to figure out why. And this right here, this breaks down what is probably the #1 killer of good ideas. You have two mindsets, the lover of the idea and the lover of the work. The first one loves brainstorming. They chase that initial excitement. But the second one, they learn to love the execution, to embrace what's called the boring middle. See, every successful project gets repetitive and boring before it gets profitable. And most people quit right there, in that boring middle, because that initial dopamine hit is long gone. And it doesn't stop there. Here are a few more assassins of success. You got underestimating time, everything takes longer than you think, overcomplicating simple things, we've all been there, trying to do everything yourself instead of delegating or building systems, and then not paying attention to the details. And a huge one, listening to way too many voices instead of just focusing on your own path. Okay, this brings us to our final section, and this is where we're going to tie all of this together. This is about making sure you're playing the right game in the first place. This is section 5, the real scoreboard. So, check this out. This highlights a massive mistake that so many of us make. We operate using the wrong scoreboard. That's the one that measures activity. It's about how many tasks you completed, how busy you felt. But the real scoreboard, it only cares about one thing, results. It doesn't ask how busy you were. It asks, did you actually move the needle? It's the difference between climbing the ladder as fast as you can and first making damn sure that ladder's on the right wall. And this quote really is the heart of this entire thing. You're not failing because you're not working hard enough. You're failing because you're working on the wrong scoreboard. I mean, let that sink in. You can work 18-hour days, you can use every productivity hack in the book, and still be totally stuck if all that effort is focused on the wrong things. Effort on the wrong things is just wasted energy. So that leaves us with one final question. What's on your scoreboard? Seriously, think about it. Not the busy work, not the to-do list. What is the one single thing that actually moves the needle for you? If you can figure that out, you can basically ignore everything else. Hey, if this explainer helped you get a little bit clearer on your own scoreboard, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We break down powerful ideas like this all the time. And I really want to know. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the #1 thing on your real scoreboard? I'd love to see what you all are working on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.